Now, in 2017, the Eastern Cape Provincial Conference was dubbed the Festival of Chairs after violence broke out and chairs flew in the conference venue. Let's unpack what's ahead with political analyst Ntsikelelo Breakfast. Thank you very much for your time here on All Angles, Mr. Breakfast. Of course, I want to start, with what we heard yesterday. Babalo Matigizela apparently telling people that he knows that there could be bribes, that they should take them, but never forget to still vote for his slate. Could we interpret this as him, basically admitting that conferences are bought in the ANC?
Yeah, I think it's still early days. It's still hard to tell which way the wind is blowing. I think the outcome can go either way. At the same time, I think that Oscar Mabuyane has two political levers of power, namely, the state machinery, meaning that he can, dish out favors to certain people in exchange for support. Over and above that, he has a strategic alliance with the president, who is a darling of capital, meaning that he also has access to money. So I think that's where the concern comes from. And it begs the question as to what influences the behavior of human beings. Is it money or principles? But of course, many conferences of the ANC have been bought by money.
But why?
So it doesn't mean that because you've been given a mandate by a branch, you are going to carry that mandate and cross a river, even though there are crocodiles. Because when you get there, you will be convinced to vote the other way around.
Absolutely. But, Matigizela and, his counterpart, he's clearly saying that it is Mabuyane's slate that is giving money for people to vote for the opposite compared to him, etc. But why would he count himself out of that? Every political leader that is wanting to be voted for does get some money to be able to, campaign, right? So he also has access to money, and he can also bribe.
Yeah, I think both factions are using psychological warfare to outmaneuver each other, because even himself has been accused of that.
Exactly.
So, he's also at fault, yeah.
Very interesting. But I want to talk to you about, what he just said to my colleague Aviwe Mdila. I'm not sure if you were privy to hearing the conversation there, where Aviwe asked him that last question on whether or not he believes President Cyril Ramaphosa, deserves a second term as ANC president. He said he does believe it. But a lot of analysts have been saying that Ramaphosa would probably have a better chance in December if it is Mabuyane that keeps the Eastern Cape. What's your analysis?
Yeah, so in theory, there are three contenders, namely Mlibo, Mtungwa. I think Mtungwa is going to withdraw at the 11th hour. I think it's just creating confusion, and that is part of warfare. I think he's going to join forces with Matigizela. So the race is between two people, namely Matigizela and Mabuyane. Now, Matigizela says he supports the president, but he sounds like a proponent of radical economic transformation. There's nothing wrong about that. That is a matter of choice. So I don't believe what he says. And also he has a political alliance with Lungisa, who's also a supporter of radical economic transformation.
Exactly. So maybe he was just trying to sound as if, he was trying to sound a certain way to certain people. But let me ask you this, in terms of the different regions, we know that the Chris Hani region, as well as the Dr. W.B. Khubusana region, Paul Mashatile, who is obviously also dealing with the Office of the Secretary General, decided that those two regions would not go to conference before because of investigations. So province would need to go ahead without them. Who does this affect between Mabuyane and Matigizela?
You can't write a test and mark it yourself. You cannot be a judge in your own case unless you want to behave like God, which is a mission impossible. So I think it was wrong for the PTT to be instituted, given the fact that those people in that committee, even themselves, have a vested interest in the outcome, because they are also going to stand No wonder there have been complaints about them because it is alleged that there have been other operations during the auditing of branches. So I'm told through the grapevine that the person who has been dealt with a blow is Oscar. But at the same time, politics is fluid.
Very fluid.
He can win and also he can lose, yeah.
Very fluid, especially if you look at the fact that the two regions, I don't know which one is the biggest, and maybe you can assist me there. The two regions that are currently with Siphamandla Goke, Alfred Nzo, and the Nelson Mandela Bay, they are seemingly going with Madikizela, but they are not as big as other ones like the OR Tambo, which has 348 votes. So if they go with Mabuyane, then we don't know basically what's going to happen by Sunday, right?
No, of course. I mean, like I said earlier on, it's still early days. People are going to be persuaded in private. Money also will be at play. So we can't predict now. I think let's adopt the wait and see approach.
All right. Thank you very much, Ntsikelelo, for your time here on All Angles.